Okay, I wanted to do a video on how to get rid of a third party in in a situation where you want to be with the person or you're dating somebody and you so the very first thing is like to know and to understand that you created it, and that's so hard to do. Honestly, it's really one of the most difficult things to do because you just want to be angry, you want to blame, you want to place it outside of yourself. Everything inside of ourselves that we judge, well, everything outside of ourselves that we judge is something that we don't want to deal with or face inside of ourselves. And it's really hard. Like, I completely identify and understand how hard it is to not blame and to understand that you actually created that third party experience. Um, I was pretty much a queen of manifesting third parties in and out for a while because I'd create them, but I very quickly could get rid by actively doing certain things. And but obviously, the key is not to have to deal with those upsets and to not have them manifest at all. Um, and some of the things that I personally found that really help in the situation is just firstly acknowledge that you created it. It might be difficult and you might have loads of resistance about it and anger about it, and just be aware of it, and you can't really make all those feelings go away overnight, but just being aware at least is a big step. And then number two is never ever focus on them. Give them no focus. The more you focus on a third party, the more you're just going to see them show up. And be that just a guy liking pictures of other people or anything like this, if you start to look for it and worry about it, sure enough, it's going to show up. I actually kind of used to manifest in people at the beginning, years and years ago, more than I actually manifested third parties. I'd manifest but I was looking for, I was stalking, and of course, I would find stuff I didn't like, then I'd build this whole thing around it. So just the less energy you put in to worrying about it and looking for it and imagining it, the less it's going to show up. Time is much better spent on self-love meditations, and just every time you're there saying, they're completely focused on me. I'm completely focused on me and they're completely focused on me. Once you start focusing on them 100% and worrying what they're up to and worrying who they might like and if they're going to like somebody more than you, it's just going to show up. It's like you're putting all of your energy into that, and it's going to show up in your experience. If you do manifest it, there's this lady called Agnes, I can't pronounce the surname, but it begins with a V. And she has some amazing meditations on removing a third party and erasing them. They really work. I mean, I've managed to kind of shift out people in weeks, days. I don't even know. So you don't always actively see it, but within a few weeks that you've done it. And there is nobody else has reality that has free will in your reality, only yourself. There's so many different realities and parallel universes. It is literally just every choice that's ever been imagined has been made. It's just tapping into the one that you want. And I mean, whether you believe in this or not, I mean, I know some people think it's manipulation, but actually, I mean, you're thinking about these people anyway, and you're constantly attracting. So what is the point in having negative thoughts when you're thinking about them anyway? It's literally shifting how you think about them. It is not manipulating the person. You're manipulating the person by having fears and worries about a third party and creating a third party. So getting rid of them isn't any more manipulating. So I know a lot of people hold back because of that, but yeah, your thoughts are your thoughts. You're creating constantly. So if you're going to say you're manipulating somebody by not focusing on third party and focusing on them going, then you're also manipulating them by focusing on a third party and worrying about them. So it's just your choice what you want to focus on. So yeah, the meditation of removal, it's like you sort of see them saying bye and them happily walking off and meeting somebody else, and seeing your specific person like turn to you. So all of these things really work on removing a third party. But of course the key is not to create them sorry, in the first place, which is really just by not worrying about having these people show up. And if there is somebody that you start to get a little bit of worry about, just don't mention them. Take your focus off them. Whenever you refer to them, like, just refer to them as somebody that they're not interested in. And just watch the situation change. You know, it's really just the main thing is understanding you created it. And even if you have some resistance and anger about that, just get that into your mind anyway and sort of toy with that idea. And then just stop focusing on them. Stop giving them energy. Stop checking their social media and worrying. And everything we fear and we worry about is going to show up in our reality. So the sooner you can just stop worrying about this third party or random third parties or multiple third parties or this person being a player, as soon as you stop focusing that energy on it, you'll start to see a shift. And so that meditations to remove, stop the focus, stop referring to them, stop checking up on them, and actually stop extending your energy like that full stop. Bring it all back to yourself. I created this, I can uncreate this. And why have you created it? Probably because you don't actually feel worthy enough of this person, or you worry that you're not worthy enough. So there's still self-work to be done. And that's why it's so easy when you don't have like really strong feelings not to create these situations, because you're focused on yourself and you're like, oh, you know, you don't have any unworthy feelings. And when you have these very strong connections, that's when they really test your self-love. And it really is about just going deep and asking yourself why you're so worried about this. And it's always because you're pedestaling somebody else and you're not actually feeling enough self-love and worthy enough that you are enough for that person, for your person, for the person you're meant to be with, that you're not enough. I mean, can you imagine that? Like, when you really, really like somebody, you automatically think that they're enough for you, you know? So you have to switch that role and get into that energy. So yeah, I hope that helped a little bit with why there's third parties and how you can get rid of them. And I've seen this work so many times, but it does just require a shift in perspective, a stopping focusing on them, the multiple people, stopping worrying about that and just getting focused on yourself, on your own life, loving yourself, knowing you're enough. Take all the fears, focus and worry off those people. And if you need to do some meditations to help with that, then I think they really work. Okay, and yeah, bye.